How's it going, Renegades? It's Coach Pat here, and today we're going to take a look at one of our high school athletes. His name is Tadhg, and we're going to watch him take about 5 strokes and then transition into doing deadlifts. So let's just take a look, full speed, see what we're working with, see what we need to improve with Tadhg. So things I like about Tadhg is he's very smooth.
Right on it. Let's see that
He's a tall guy, so he's definitely got a lot of potential as a rower.
Good breathing,
And
good
he's got a very good leg drive. So far this winter we've been working on improving his posture and working on all the foundational lifts like the deadlift and the squat. So that's kind of what we have to look at. Let's take a look at quarter speed for his 5 strokes here. So the 3 things I'm going to ask him to improve over the next few weeks are going to be posture, just overall. Number 2 is his connection and power through the finish. And number 3 is going to be his connection and just body awareness at the catch. So let's look at all 3 positions. Number 1 is posture, and when I check someone's posture, I want to see how they're sitting when they're at either bodies over or about half slide. So here's his half slide position, and you'll notice he's got a slightly rounded back here, and sometimes as rowers, we can get away with that if we know how to keep our midline braced and we create a globally flexed trunk that's braced at all times but not adding any movement to it. And so that's kind of the way Tadhg's been rowing in the past. What I'm going to work with him on through mobility and using lifts like the deadlift is we want to try and give him a posture that is more along this line. And we want him to be at about 1 o'clock when he's at half slide. So if you imagine there's a clock on the wall behind him, he does have his body over in relationship from his shoulder to his hip, and his body's at about 1 o'clock, but we just want to improve that posture so we get into a slightly stronger position. So that's the first thing I'm going to ask him to try and work on, and that's just going to be through some hip mobility and hamstring mobility, as well as improving his mobility through the thoracic spine and just body awareness as well. So that's number 1. Number 2 was his power and connection through the finish. So let's take another look at his stroke. He takes up, we'll bring it back. Let's bring it back a ways here. So if you watch as he takes the stroke here at quarter speed, he pushes, he pries, he pulls, but you'll notice that his knees kind of bounce up and his seat tucks under. That's him falling off of his sit bones and becoming disconnected from the handle and the chain. So let's watch one more stroke. Here's his recovery. He gets prepared. He takes the catch, drives the knees down. Right as his legs extend, he then kind of loses connection with the erg for the second half of the finish. And you see that by his knees kind of bouncing up and the seat tucking under, and that's him just kind of losing that connection to the handle. So what we want to see is when he gets to about here, he should have started to break his elbows a little bit earlier, so we can keep the speed on the handle. And from this point forward, we want him to point his toes, engage his quads, and lock his legs, so he has a stable platform from this point forward. So from this point back to the finish, we don't want to see his knees move, his seat or his hips move. We just want him in a strong, stable position. We want that lower body to be just a nice, stable platform so that he can pull all the way through and be in a nice, strong finish position. You'll notice his wrists are kind of cocked like a T-Rex, and he's sort of collapsed and fallen off the back of his seat. What he does nicely is he does know to get back over before he gets to the catch, but that is definitely something we want to improve. So we're going to work on just good push-ups and pull-ups and recline rows to help improve his strength through his upper body, so he's ready for that strong finish. Let's watch again. But we're just going to do some drills to make sure that he feels that connection to the footboard and he's engaging those legs as he goes to finish the stroke. So his power and connection through the end of the stroke.